working on this light bar today, putting it on the truck. And so the mounts that came with it aren't gonna work on the truck. So I would have to mount to the top of it, and first of all, I don't want to do that. Second of all, it's not very structural and it just wouldn't line up very well. So making some mounts to mount it to the edge. So here's one, just flat stock that I bent the end of a little bit, and I'll show you on the truck how it's gonna go. And then I've got the other piece floating around here somewhere. I've got the other piece here, and I'm gonna bend it to make it match the other side. So yeah. All right, so I got these things bent up and marked up. They're pretty close to the same, so much so that you wouldn't notice it when they're on the truck. So then I drilled holes, one for the light bar at the top, and then 3 to mount it to the truck itself. I'm just gonna use these self-tappers to hold it to the truck. So I'm gonna mark it up and put the light bar on, make sure everything fits well, and then take them off and paint them. So let's see how she fits. So got the light bar mocked up again. Looks pretty good. I'm happy with it. I'm not gonna have it pointing down that far though. Basically, these things are in the right spot, but I need some washers to space this out so I can get it tight enough to suspend itself like that. But I know that these go on and they hold. I can shake the whole truck. I wasn't sure how well these self-tappers were gonna hold, but they are. I can shake the whole truck with this thing, so I don't think it's gonna come off. So I'm just gonna hunt down some washers and then take these off and paint them. I'll probably take a grinder and make this a little smoother so there's not pointy edges. But yeah, overall this is going really well. So here's how my mounts look right now. To get them ready to put on the truck, I'm just gonna trim the edges off right here so it looks a little bit prettier, a little less hack. And the bottoms are fine because that lines up with the pillar of the truck. So yeah, I'm just gonna trim right here, let them cool down, and then throw a coat of paint on them. And they'll be ready to go on. So here they are after being cut. Not exactly even, but you'll never see them next to each other, so you'll never notice a difference. So just gonna let them cool down, throw a coat of paint on them, and throw them on for good. So something I realized I never did on this engine was install a thermostat. The car that it came with already had the thermostat removed for some reason, and until now I've been driving without it, and as long as the car's moving and you're getting air to the radiator, it's okay. But if you sit still, it starts to get hot. I definitely don't want to drive in the winter without one, so I ordered an OEM thermostat, took off the housing, got it cleaned up. Unfortunately, it's a little bit difficult to get to, but it's not too bad, so gonna pop that in and use some RTV to get this sealed up, and she'll be ready. Alright, got the new thermostat in and the housing back on with the bolts finger tight. I'm gonna give the RTV an hour to set and then torque them down all the way. And then I'm gonna give it a full day to cure out before I put any water in it, and we should be all good. Now I'm just waiting on a clutch cable and I can drive this thing again. So the paint's all dry on these, turned out really good, and now I'm gonna put them on the truck to stay, and I'm gonna use this weather sealant stuff to keep it from leaking into the cab. So I'm just gonna put that in between the mounts and the cab, so should work, should be waterproof. So here we go. Alright, so here they are, all finished up. Looks pretty good to me. You can shake the whole truck with them. And I used the seam sealer in between the pillar and the mount, so shouldn't leak any water. Both sides seem to match pretty well. You'll never notice, especially with the light bar on there, so I think that'll work. I'm just gonna wire the thing up and should be all set. Alright, so it's been a couple days. I'm sure that the RTV is good and set up, so I'm going to put more water in there. And also the clutch cable finally came in. So I'm going to put that in and we'll be able to start and drive this thing, which is good because I have a load of stuff to take to the scrap metal place. So I can get rid of that, get probably $5 for it. Mainly I just want to get rid of it. And that will allow me to weigh the truck because I really want to know what it weighs. So yeah. Alright, got the new clutch cable in. The clutch feels good, so now I just gotta put some coolant in there, make sure it's not leaking out of the thermostat housing. clutch cable's fixed and the coolant's bled. I'm gonna haul this crap to the scrap metal place and see how she does. Hopefully no problems. Here we go. So, made it back. Scrap metal run was successful. Got rid of all that crap out of the back of my truck. Looks like I forgot a piece, but that's alright. Now I just need to get out of here and we'll be good to go. The truck ran great. The new clutch cable feels amazing. Feels so much better than the old one. And then, of course, the truck runs, so that's good. And then the coolant was fluctuating a little bit, so I think I need to spend a little bit more time bleeding the coolant. But other than that, she's good to go. I'm driving around and haul stuff again, so I call it a successful day. Alright, so today I'm running the wiring for the light bar. It's really simple. So you just got to get a relay, and then there's two obvious terminals that go on each side of the battery. There's a fuse in line ready to go, and then you got to run one set of wires up. I'm running mine through the pillar. I'm gonna put some seam sealer in this and then screw it all up good and tight so that it doesn't leak. And the wires just sit out here, and there's plenty of play on this end, so I'm gonna make some connectors to go on there so I can take it off if I ever want to. And then I already ran the button inside. For now I'm just gonna leave it right here since I have no speakers. Real professional looking, but it'll be fine for now. I'll probably end up changing that switch out eventually because I don't really like it. I'm gonna get this thing all hooked up and see how she looks. Alright, so I got this thing all wired up, and before I zip tie all the wires down and lay down the seam sealer, I just want to make sure that the thing turns on. So let's see. Yeah, sure enough. Thing's pretty bright. I can't really tell it because it's gonna be super bright at night. Alright, just gonna clean up all the wires here and this job will be done. Alright, wires are cleaned up as much as they're gonna be, zip tied out of the way. Seam sealer is cleaned up as much as I care to. Get it off the window, that's what counts. She's waterproof, she's mounted, she's firm, she's not going anywhere. And she works, so I'm gonna call that a success. So I just found the biggest moth I've ever seen in the shop. Here he is compared to my thumb. His body is the size of my thumb. Massive. Never seen a moth that big. His legs are still twitching a bit too. But he ain't going nowhere. I don't know if he got bit by something or he's sick or what, but it's crazy.